What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Ted Wuga here to talk about the post-fight of Floyd Mayweather and Miguel Cotto. Very good fight. I thought it was very entertaining. Floyd, as usual, started off pretty good, and it looked like in the first round it was going to be a mismatch. And then by the second and third round, even though Floyd may have gotten those, although I gave Cotto the third round, it was getting a little bit more competitive. And by the middle rounds, Miguel Cotto, he was dominating the middle rounds, like from round 5 to 8. And actually, after the 8th round, I had the fight a draw or even 1 point ahead for Miguel Cotto. But then it looked, you can tell that they were both being gassed out, but Mayweather had that extra gear, that champion mindset of not wanting to go down, and he just kicked it into a different gear, and he closed the show really impressively. And I mean, it was just a great fight. If you guys haven't seen it, there's a bunch of links on YouTube that you can watch the fight at. It was very good. Cotto's Mayweather, his adjustments were really good. You normally see him shoot a right straight down the pipe, but Cotto's defense was surprising. I think it was surprising to Mayweather that Cotto's defense was so good, and we saw the lowest, I think, CompuBox numbers I've ever seen Mayweather do. It was in the low 20% landed for both fighters, but there was even a round where Mayweather only landed like 6 punches, which is very unusual, and he threw like 30 something. So a very low landing percentage fight. They were both very good defensively, but yeah, instead of Mayweather shooting right straight down the pipe, he kind of looped it around Cotto's guard, and although it was half being blocked and half being hit, they were still pretty fast, devastating punches, and they were taking its toll on Cotto. But if it was a 15-round fight, I think Mayweather would have had the knockout. In the 12th round, Cotto looked like he was ready to go. He got staggered pretty badly by a Mayweather uppercut, and he kind of fell on Mayweather. That's why he didn't go down. But if Mayweather wasn't there, I think he would have had Mayweather would have at least had a knockdown in the fight too. A couple interesting things in this fight. One, I honestly think Mayweather has lost a step because he won the fight, and I'm not questioning his heart or his championship mindset or whatever. But even early on in the fight, second or third round, I was watching it with a friend of mine, and we both kind of agreed that Mayweather looks a little bit. I don't know. He just doesn't. He didn't look as sharp as he normally does. He looked like he looked like he lost a step. I just don't know how to explain it. He looked kind of slower than he normally was. His coordination wasn't as his reflexes weren't as twitchy or spontaneous, if you know what I mean. He looked like he was forcing a lot of his movements, and he just didn't. He didn't look like the regular Floyd that we're all accustomed to seeing. But one interesting point I wanted to point out: what was the one punch Miguel Cotto was landing consistently on Mayweather? Left jab. He is a natural lefty, so his left jab is almost similar to a left straight. And those were landing. You could see it. But Mayweather was trying to shoulder roll that left jab / left straight, but you can't do it. The shoulder roll does not work against that move. So after seeing this fight, sorry to say it, I mean, I'm not a Pactard. I really am not. I like Floyd Mayweather's fights. I don't like him personally, but I enjoy the shit out of his fights, and I like Manny Pacquiao also. But I just don't see how Manny Pacquiao could lose to this guy. I really don't. Manny Pacquiao's left straight is 10 times more devastating and dynamic than Cotto's left straight jab. Manny will land those lefts at will. And one thing to note, Mayweather threw more punches than Miguel Cotto, CompuBox statistically. Manny Pacquiao, Floyd's not going to outthrow Manny Pacquiao. Okay, Manny Pacquiao will land twice as many, will throw twice as many punches as Floyd Mayweather, and I just don't see how Mayweather could beat Manny Pacquiao, and especially after watching the last fight, I think Manny Pacquiao has them beat on foot speed, hand speed. He sure as hell hits harder than Floyd Mayweather. I don't know. I think that fight with Miguel Cotto, I used to favor Mayweather prior to watching this fight. Now I'm kind of like, it really is a toss-up. I mean, Floyd Mayweather could have the best night of his life, and maybe he'll beat Manny Pacquiao, or I just don't know. I can't see how Mayweather, a lot of these Flomos say he would absolutely dominate, man. I just don't see where they're getting that information from. Miguel Cotto and Manny Pacquiao had the same exact reach advantage too, so and their heights are really negligible. I mean, if you watch a Pacquiao Cotto fight and you watch a Pacquiao Mayweather fight, they all look like they're in that same height zone. So and Manny's footwork more than makes up for his reach. So it's going to be very interesting if that fight ever happens. And I think even Floyd, I don't think it's going to happen personally, because Floyd, prior to this fight, he was saying about how he wants to fight 10 more times, 5 more times. He wants to fight till he's 38 or whatever. And now I'm seeing interviews where he's saying, "Oh, this could be my that could have been my last fight." I'm like, okay, so Floyd kind of knows that he's slipping, I guess. And honestly, I don't. Floyd said, "Oh, Bob Arum's in the way. Bob Arum's in the way." I'm like, no, he's not. You're 50. You're your stance on not giving Pacquiao 50-50 is where the fight is. Why it's not happening. If you just say, like Pacquiao said, you could get the larger guarantee, but pay-per-view has to be 50-50, and that's very reasonable because they both bring in the same numbers pay-per-view wise. They both sell $1 million plus consistently, so I don't see why Floyd says he does better numbers than Manny Pacquiao. I don't know what he's talking about, but yeah, let me know what you guys think. It was a pretty good fight either way. Props to Floyd Mayweather for kicking into that extra gear and taking over the fight in the third half of the fight. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Tadawuga, peace.